bring in our NHL insider, Elliotte Friedman. Elliotte, what was your reaction to the commissioner's comments earlier today, and when do you think the next season will actually begin?
Well, Jamie, I do think we're going to play. That's the number one thing I will always say is we are going to play. I believe that, and I refuse to believe otherwise. I think the thing that the commissioner is saying there is the crux of the issue for him, the league, and the owners. And that is that, yes, this year, the 50-50 will tip towards the players because there's going to be much more salary paid out as opposed to revenues for the league. And a lot of the owners are looking at this and saying, yes, we're going to get that money back, but we want that money back much quicker than is currently scheduled. And the players are saying, no, you guys made a deal with caps on our escrow, and if that means the money has to come back later, you guys are just going to have to deal with that schedule. So that's the argument. I do think we will get to a point where this gets sorted out, and the key might be deferred money. When are we going to begin? Well, when the commissioner says he's targeting January 1st, apparently he still continues to do that with the Players Association. I don't know. I don't see it. Like, I understand they're going to crush training camps maybe to 10 to 12 days. That could happen. But racing guys through the quarantines at the border, back from Europe, whatever, if they're going to play January 1st, it's got to be sorted out very quickly. My guess is we're probably moving into middle of January at the earliest, but I freely admit the commissioner could prove me wrong on that.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. We also heard the commissioner talking about the fact that realignment is a very real possibility with the border issues between the U.S. and Canada. So what do you think the chances are that we'll see an all-Canada division?
Well, I don't like to say 100%, Jamie, because you always have to leave room that something could happen. But I believe at this point it is a virtual certainty that we're going to see it. The Canadian government said this week that until the vaccine is around and in use, non-essential travel is still going to be shut down across the border. And I don't think the populace in this country is that interested in seeing those kinds of exemptions made. So I think it's going to be likely. I think we'll see a Canadian division. I think we'll see 3 divisions of 8 in the U.S. And the main issue, I think, is which central team has to go into the Western Conference. Right now, it's Minnesota that's there. I've heard there still is some possibility it could be switched. But at this point in time, I think it's Minnesota that's going to have to make that move. Interesting.
Yeah, we also heard the commissioner not just there in that soundbite, but as part of his discussion, talk about the future of sports betting in the NHL. This from your colleague Chris Johnston saying that the NHL views sports betting as a way to grow its fan base. There's more deals on the horizon than the ones it already has struck with FanDuel, MGM, and William Hill. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts right now as a guy who's sweating out the Steelers minus 10.5 against the Ravens. I'm happy to gamble on just about anything. I'm a guy actually who got to gambling later in life, and I was always a guy. I like pools. I like betting a little bit. But I'm much bigger into it now. And I'll tell you this, as I've gotten the opportunity, as I've gotten older to travel the world, Jamie and Ken, North America is the last place in the world to get into this. Everybody else in the world gambles on their sports, and they love it, and it's time. And I think the NHL should be doing as much of this as they can. I'm also a big believer in it's time for small ads on the jerseys, not like a NASCAR-style ad or anything like that.
Please.
But I think it's time to open up all those revenue sources around the NHL.
Well, when you're talking about right now and the crunch we're all feeling with the pandemic, it is an interesting point. Who knows? If you can get revenue from somewhere, why not? Bring it on, right?
I'm 100%. Now you're talking my language.
Well, when we have a future sports betting show, you'll be the first call that I make. So thanks so much for the time and the insight, Elliotte. Take care.
My pleasure, guys. Take care.
All right. Always fun to talk with Elliotte here. And he really is locked in. So if he's saying there's going to be a season, that gives me a lot of hope to think that they're going to get it figured out very quickly.